creator economy is in a genuine shift right now. There's no reason that you need to hire a bunch of people. You don't have to grow bigger and bigger every year.
Why do you focus so much on the European market?
So I've been running a YouTube channel for like almost 2 years now, and there's like two crucial lessons I've learned in that time. Because I could be 10 times bigger than I am right now, but I'm not, because what they say is you have to be consistent. I was going against that grain for the longest time, but the truth is if I had uploaded consistently every week since launching, the channel would be 10 times bigger. And that's not just about the cadence, the timely consistency, but also the style. Because I started with studio tours in person and had no idea what I was doing. I thought sitting down with somebody and having a conversation is enough to have a podcast. But you kind of need a lot more structure, and like you gotta know who you're talking to, what the conversation is about. And developing this consistency in style is super important, and probably something what is holding me back even more than the timely consistency. Because like, oh, I feel like doing this kind of style now. I'm experimenting with this thing over here. And this constant evolution, I think, is critical in long-term success. But when you're starting out, it's kind of important that you also stick to one thing so people can understand what you actually stand for.
Why do you focus so much on the European market rather than the Americans, which tend to be the typical ones to go after?
The thing is, I lived in the US for a long time, and I learned so much about what it means to be a creator, but it's heavily influenced by the American market and the American thinking. But there's way more creators than just US-based creators, and they want different things, they have different aspirations. And I think it's just important that this voice exists and that we have a conversation around what even is a European creator, what are our shared values, who do we want to reach, what do we want to achieve with all these videos that we put out, right? Because nobody else is, and it's like, I think it's important that we form an identity together.
And as well, you're such a focus on independent creators. Like there's so much now that it's like, how do you build bigger teams and production studios? And now it's maturing as an industry. So they've turned into production studios, what used to be independent, rebellious creators.
Like there's so much conversation for creators about how to grow bigger and like hire a team and like build products and like turn yourself into this like media machine kind of thing. And all creators I have conversations with are just like, no, I just want to do the thing I'm good at, that I enjoy, and make enough money so I have a decent living and can provide for my family. And I think this conversation is really desperately missing from the creator economy right now, where it's like you don't have to grow bigger and bigger every year, and you don't have to hire a huge team just to put out videos on the internet. And so there needs to be a home base for solo creators, for independent creators who want to reach people but don't want to build like giant media enterprises. And I hope that's what Orbit provides for them. A home for solo creators where they feel seen, where we can have conversations around what it means to be a solo creator.
This is kind of a tough vlogging position. How did Pino Kinnunen ever do it with the 1DX?
That's the other thing. Equipment has become so accessible and so freaking good that there's no reason that you need to hire a bunch of people just to film stuff. You have everything you need to make your first video, or 100 videos if you care for it, right? So, phone, it's good enough. Everybody's shooting on the Osmo Pocket 3.
I mean, Ryan Trahan,
amazing.
Hundreds of millions of views. Ryan Trahan, billions of views on an iPhone.
So I think the creator economy or the whole creator landscape is in a really big shift right now, and we don't even know what's coming. Like, everybody is concerned about AI taking jobs. I don't even think that's the biggest problem. If AI just steamrolls all the content, if you have like 100 times more artificially generated content out there than real human voices, people will consume what is out there. And we're already at a point where most people cannot differentiate between generated content and human-made content. And the whole creator industry is built on advertising, built on the trust that somebody built with their audience and selling something on the behalf of a company. If the company can just build the trust with an army of influencers, they don't need creators anymore. And the content will just be so overflowing that the consumer doesn't even have a choice other than to watch generated content.
But doesn't
And-
it still have to be generated by someone?
Sure, somebody is behind it generating it, but the volume of it is going to be so high that it's going to be really hard to not consume generated content. We all say now, oh, it's artificial content, I don't want to see that. Very quickly, you will be like, oh, that's just what we watch now.
Big
It's-
vlogs, hard to beat.
Dude, yeah, if he makes me laugh, I'm here for it. You know? I don't care that somebody just typed the line. It makes me laugh. I feel something. Video content has become so good that most people can't differentiate between what is real and what is not real. And also, a lot of people don't care, which is gonna be a real bump in the growth of creators. And I think is gonna put some creators out of business who don't have a real relationship with their audience. But I think this can go two ways. Either we just get flooded with generated content and everybody's okay with watching it and just like we accept this as the status quo. Or it just turns out to be a fad like a yo-yo and it's just like it comes, it goes. Like everything right now generated looks roughly the same. And people that know can tell what is generated and what is not. And people crave human experiences. They want the familiar, but with a new voice. They want somebody's unique perspective that no algorithm can produce because it doesn't have experience. And so I think that is the big, big chance for creators who want to sustain through this wave of generated content is to bring your unique voice, your unique perspective to what you produce. And that is, I think, the only way to stand out and to connect people in real life and not just count them as numbers on a dashboard.